welcome to the Smart Customer Spotlight podcast, where we have industry experts join us in shining light on today's business landscape and elevating your brand. I'm Sybil Chan from Site Jabber. Here with me today is our marketing manager, Pauline Manu. She's our marketing extraordinaire, does everything marketing over here at Site Jabber. Super appreciative of everything she does. And we're super excited to introduce our special guest today, Lauren Ladra, Director of Partnerships at TrustedSite and Halo Security. So Lauren joins us with over 12 years of experience in marketing and partnership management. So we're really excited to dive into the world of strategic partnerships, particularly for e-commerce brands. And we're going to unearth some valuable takeaways for your business. So Lauren, it's great to have you here. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thanks, Sybil. Great to be here. Great to be here with you too, Pauline.
Lauren, can you tell us a bit about you and your business, how you got started, and what you do?
Yeah, so my name is Lauren Ladra. I am the Director of Partnerships at TrustedSite. I have been with TrustedSite for about 8 years now, but have spent most of my career in marketing and partnerships. Moved over to TrustedSite in a marketing-focused role, but at the time was still managing our partnerships, and since then have moved up into more partnership focused leadership type roles. So it's been a really fun experience. I oversee our platform partners, agency partners, and technical partnerships, which now also includes our relationship with Jabio by Site Jabber. So a little bit of background on TrustedSite. We offer earned website certifications and trust badges for websites to help them build trust with their visitors. So ultimately, we're focused on helping businesses build trust and ultimately increase their conversions by showing website visitors that a site is safe to engage with, safe to make a purchase from. So a lot of synergy with what you guys are doing over at Site Jabber with reviews, really helping businesses to build trust and credibility, giving consumers the confidence to move forward with completing their purchase. I think that's really kind of both of the goals of our organizations, which is why it makes sense for us to come together in this joint partnership. So excited to be working with you guys.
Same here. So Lauren, did you start off in marketing then? Like, how did you end up going from marketing into more partnership focus?
Yeah, good question. Gosh, I need to think back a bit. So I started my career in PR, actually working for a PR agency. When I graduated from college, that was at the time 2009, kind of when everything crashed. And so my role that was going to be secured for me in PR was no longer available. And so through networking, I ended up in actually more kind of a customer success role at a digital media company. And while I was there, I just slowly started doing some more kind of partner marketing focused projects along with PR. Was kind of wearing multiple hats, was writing press releases, doing award submissions, but was also slowly starting to manage our partner relationships. And I found that it was something I really enjoyed. And then when I, had the opportunity to move over to TrustedSite, same thing, was doing kind of more marketing focused, but was getting these partnership kind of projects put on my desk as well. And since then, our partner program has really expanded and grown. And we work with, Shopify, BigCommerce, all these big platform partners in the space. And since then have added more strategic and technical partners to our list as well. Partner roles have really grown significantly, especially over the past, I would say 5 years. You see a lot more of these roles out there and a lot more of these partner teams than there ever used to be. So it wasn't something I had on my radar when I was younger. It wasn't something I really knew existed. But now that I'm in it, I really enjoy it and really enjoy connecting with others in the space.
Nice. Yeah, so you mentioned like all these changes in the past few years where there are more people being hired in partnership roles and, businesses are realizing the importance of making these collaborations and connections. What are like the huge interesting shifts you've seen in buyer behavior that might have sparked this, increased focus on partnerships? And what kind of advice might you offer to e-commerce merchants or businesses who want to adapt and thrive based on these behavioral changes?
Yeah, good question. So I think that question's kind of twofold. There's the partnership evolving piece, and then there's the e-commerce piece. So I'll touch on the e-commerce piece first. A lot has changed since, the internet keeps becoming more popular and popular, but also since COVID specifically, buyer behaviors have changed significantly. A lot of buyers, maybe kind of older buyers who were used to buying at brick and mortar only, were forced to learn how to make purchases online for even just everyday needs. Right? We couldn't go to stores or have access to things the way we did previously. So there are more and more people shopping online than ever before. I think with that, consumers are becoming more savvy because they have to. The number of breaches that we see happening are at an all-time high. Identity theft is at an all-time high, and consumers are becoming aware of this, and naturally they're becoming more skeptical. So with that, they also have to become smarter shoppers, right? So I don't actually know what the numbers are, but there are thousands of new websites popping up on a daily basis, a lot of which are legit and a lot of which are not legitimate, right? And so we have to be careful about which sites we're choosing to make purchases from. So, consumers are learning to how to identify and how to look for social proof. They're reading reviews more than ever before. They're looking for trust badges and trust signals on websites. They're looking for contact information, or they're checking social media profiles. Are these guys active on social media? Do they have a following? Do they respond to users' comments and requests? And so I think with that, e-commerce merchants have to spend more time and work harder than ever to prove that they're a legitimate business so that they can gain those new customers ultimately. So it's been really interesting to watch the shift. And I think for both of us being in the trust building space and kind of the social proof space, we've seen the need for it now more than ever before. And it's really exciting. A lot of people have these side businesses that they're launching from home and these really creative, cool ideas. But with that, you have to be a smart merchant as well. And then I guess jumping over to your partnerships question, I think also during COVID, we all kind of realized, you can't do this alone. You need alliances. You need other businesses who you can team up with, who can support one another, who can vouch for one another and be that trusted advisor, if you will. So, when you team up with a partner where there's a lot of synergy and you're recommending another company, if you already have customers that trust and listen to you, they're more likely to want to explore this other brand you may be recommending to them. So, during COVID, our agency partner program specifically really grew because everyone was really eager to figure out creative ways to work with and support one another. And I think more and more, I think there's still a lot to be learned in partnerships. And I'm a part of different partner communities where people are really being resources for one another and figuring out, how can we effectively do this? How can we effectively attribute sales to partner related functions and activities? That can be really challenging and difficult sometimes. But I think for overall brand awareness, lead gen, and just kind of getting in front of consumers, partnerships is a really effective way to do that.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah, I totally agree with what you're saying, Lauren. And to piggyback off of that, businesses are really held at a higher standard more than ever, and buyers are more scrupulous than ever. Not to even mention the GDPR, cookieless future. Yeah. We're located in California, and we have our own specific privacy laws, which is great in that we're moving towards a future where businesses are being checked and customers are receiving what they asked for. I think during this time, the focus on product is more important than ever as well. Like genuinely putting your customers first. You're developing your product to give them the most value. You're making it so that your customers can't perform the desired action that you promised to the best of their ability without your product. And I think that speaks for partners too. I mean, with TrustedSite, there's a lot of synergy there, and I'm sure that with partner agencies or with our own partnerships too, the partners we work with, we'd want to believe in their product, and we want them to believe in our product as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. Completely agree.
Yeah, great points there. With the expectations part where it's like, we need to be trustworthy businesses. And when you are, you need to prove that. And buyers are expecting that. I think it's great when you can partner up and then it's like, oh, one is being endorsed by another or you're collaborating with another. There's multiple ways to do trust signals, which Lauren, of course, you know very well on your side. So talking about a little bit more on the security, authentications, transparency side, for e-commerce businesses, in particular for merchants, what type of authentications, what type of badges or accreditations are buyers looking for these days?
Yeah, good question. So I think there's a number of things, having something as simple as a valid SSL certificate, which now, Google will show whether your URL is secure or insecure. If something's insecure, that's a huge red flag. And an SSL certificate is not that difficult nor expensive for a business to obtain. So, that's an indicator to me that something is sketchy. And it's too bad because there are businesses out there that are legitimate and maybe they're just missing, they don't understand how important it is to have that signal or to have that piece. And with the SSL certificate, there are also badges related to that they can display on their site, showing that the site, is safe and secure. There's badges, from the Better Business Bureau, which verify that your business is actually a legitimate business. We do a little bit of that here at TrustedSite as well, where we are checking that the business is who they say they are. We're scanning the website every 7 days. So we're scanning for things like malware, malicious links, 404 errors. We're looking at Google blacklists and other databases to make sure these sites aren't listed on those lists. If they are, then that's a red flag to us and they cannot display our certifications on their site. So there is a lot of behind the scenes checking and scanning that is happening before a business is allowed to display our trust marks on their site. And then I think there's really simple things, having just contact information readily and easily available. If there's no chat or phone number or even address, those are all red flags. Those are very easy things for a business to display. An about us section, just telling who are the people behind your brand, what's your brand story, how did you get to where you are. Those are all things that build credibility and build trust. So there are a lot of very easy things that merchants can be doing. Sure, it takes time and resources, but checking these things off the list is ultimately going to help you drive more new business and more sales.
Yeah, that definitely makes sense. Lauren, I have a question. So how much in this certification process where you're vetting, making sure that they check every criteria that you had, how much is just the human aspect of that? Could a business meet every requirement but still be a shady business and you wouldn't want to give them the certification? Or could there be businesses that don't meet every requirement and you need to supply them with the tools to meet the requirements? Or
And so I guess a couple things. If the scans come back as insecure, we flag that. We immediately alert the business of that. So they have the opportunity to fix that. We will guide them through that process. And we can rescan the site once those issues are resolved so that they then can display the trust marks. There are certainly some that fall through the cracks. We are not perfect. And there are businesses that can pass our scans, but then there are other sketchy things, right, that can be going on behind the scenes. They could decide to not actually ship a product. That's out of our control, right? And that's not something we can easily look for. Reviews can tell you if someone has or hasn't received their product, right? Or they receive a product that's not as described or expected, not what it was on the site listing, right, or on the product page. There are a number of things that can come into play that unfortunately TrustedSite doesn't have the ability to look for. That is why we team up with partners like you guys who allow us to integrate reviews into our system. Or we have insurance partners that allow us to help protect customers if their identity is stolen. We offer them identity protection. We have issue-free orders, which is not to be confused with reviews. It's a way for a consumer to report if there was an issue with their order. If we see a number of those coming in, that's a red flag to us. Hey, this merchant isn't who they say they are. We need to look at doing something about this. So yes, there are certainly some, I think the percentage is low, but there are some that they can still gain the certifications. And believe me that, I'm in this space. I know what to look for, and I have fallen victim to this stuff as well over silly things. I was trying to buy a water filter a few years ago, and I wanted to get the best deal. And I went to this site. I could tell from the site's interface, it was a Shopify site. So I assumed because it was on Shopify, it was safe to buy from. And I bought the water filter. My card was charged, and I realized a few weeks later it never came. Their contact info disappeared. I had to have my credit card company cancel the payment to them. But it's hard. It's hard. It's getting harder and harder, I think, to identify these sites that are really just scam sites, unfortunately. But we're doing our best, and we're constantly adding new features to try to address those issues. As
Yeah,
I'm sure you guys
absolutely.
are as well. Like, I'd be curious to hear what
Yeah.
you're doing on the reviews front to help combat some of that.
Yeah, I mean, I think partnering with TrustedSite it definitely goes hand in hand because, like you were saying, with reviews is another layer of protection and social proof, and a very strong one because it's real customers, right? It's a real experience from a purchase. But on our side, a lot of businesses can try to game the system and try to utilize fake reviews, can put in reviews themselves. And like you guys, we also have AI and algorithms in place to bar businesses from doing that, and also to flag them and to let consumers know this business might be practicing faulty review methods or methods that are not compliant. But I think what's great about TrustedSite and these certifications, it's the closest hard data metrics that you can get as a business to show your customers that, hey, we're a legit site. We comply with all of these certifications to make sure that our business is safe, but more importantly, that when you purchase from us, that it's a safe purchase. So I definitely think while reviews is a big hand in helping customers understand what they will be getting, and also warning customers against scams, certifications are so important as a hard metric for businesses to show.
Yeah. To me, it's
Yeah.
almost like having the qualitative and the quantitative. So the certifications and authentications, quantitative. You got numbers, you got badges, you have technological checks, you have a lot of different things going on behind the scenes on the back end. And then on the front end, so to speak, you have the firsthand experiences of people. So subjective, qualitative experiences. People can just say in their own words how the shopping experience went. And just having those two working together, I think really helps businesses build trust with all their prospective customers. So it's a perfect type of partnership here, I think.
Yeah, no, completely agree. And something I will add to that and say is something we see. And I don't know if you guys, speaking of fake reviews, and I know there's bots and, all sorts of things on the review front, but what we'll see is either people stealing the trust mark. So what they'll do is they'll just find an image and paste, and they'll throw it on their site. We see that a lot. And there's unfortunately not a whole lot we can do about it. You can tell it's fake because it's not clickable. So our badges are fully clickable. It pops up with a verification window where you can verify all the certifications that were read. You can click through, see a whole verification page full of details and credentials that the site has met. But we do see people stealing or just creating their own fake trust marks. It doesn't really do or say anything, but sometimes that will be enough for a consumer to move forward, right? They may not know to look for badges that actually have additional verifications that come up and display. So we do run into those types of issues as well. And unfortunately, that's all really tricky to manage with the hundreds of thousands and millions of sites that are out there. So
Yeah, that it reminds me. We've seen businesses utilize SiteJabber widgets where they'll say, we have like a 5-star rating on SiteJabber, but they won't link to it. They won't actually use our widget, and it's not true. I actually had my mom. She told me that she purchased from this website because SiteJabber said they had 5-star reviews, and what she got was like an empty box of whatever she was supposed to get. But it was so funny, like trying to explain to her, you gotta click on the link, just do a little research, because these businesses are crafty. And I would say that they're the minority for sure. Businesses implementing these shady practices, but the minority really gets quite a few consumers. And we see plenty of websites popping up that say like selling SiteJabber reviews. Like we would never sell reviews. That's definitely against any best practice. So definitely understand. And especially a trust certification, it can be easy for a business just to slap it on there. And the ramifications from that can really be quite high for customers.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah. And not just not best practices, but it's just completely not FTC compliant. It's not just a rule that review platforms make up just so that we can, sell our platform. It's an actual regulation put forth by the FTC. So definitely something to look out for businesses and consumers. Because of a loud minority of shady businesses, people are really wary about fake reviews or fake certifications or just what they see on the internet. People are way more scrutinizing into what they read and what they watch, and even videos or photos can be faked, right? So with these challenges nowadays, what strategies or tactics might you recommend to businesses? What are the top 3 things every business should do to build and maintain trust with an audience, a buyer audience that's largely online?
Should I take that one first?
Yeah, go ahead, Lauren.
Okay. Well, let's see. I think obviously reviews are hugely important. I don't have the percentage in front of me, but there's a very high percentage of consumers that read reviews before they decide to complete their purchase, especially, a clothing item. And I want to understand how it fits certain body types before I order it online. That's also, it also encourages me to make the purchase if I'm reading reviews that are helpful in that way. So I think reviews are a no-brainer, huge. Security certifications, obviously, TrustedSite, have to put that one out there, but also they're fairly easy and cost effective to purchase, and they really do make a difference. We partner with conversion rate optimization agencies to run A/B tests. So we will run a test on an e-commerce website, one version of that website without a trust badge, the other version with a trust badge. And time again, we see the version with the trust badge outperforming the version without. And by outperforming, what I mean is they are seeing a significant increase in conversions, a significant increase in online sales, because people are more comfortable and confident making their purchase when those trust badges are displayed. And specifically when they're displayed in strategic areas like the cart and the checkout, those places where someone's about to enter their credit card information and they kind of hesitate. Ooh, is this a good idea? Should I do it? But if they see those trust badges right there saying, this site is safe, the checkout is safe, your personal information is safe, then they're more likely to move forward and finalize their purchase. So to us, we've been able to prove those results through case studies, through optimization tests that we've run. And in addition to that, gosh, what would the third one be? I think just showing that there are real people behind your brand. I think that really makes a difference. So what I mean by that is, it can be as simple as responding to negative reviews, right? Saying, we see you, thanks for this feedback, we're working on it, XYZ. Or when people comment online, my husband, for example, has his own e-commerce business, and they're a small business and they run ads on Facebook, and people will comment saying, this product looks amazing, but does anyone know, is this brand actually legitimate? I don't want to be scammed. And rightfully so, right? It's hard to tell. And so they'll respond directly to the customer and try to make them feel more at ease. But these are common concerns. And I think the more you can interact, whether it's your customer success team or other teams, having support, having real people behind the brand, having someone that picks up the telephone and talks to you, those are all things that are going to increase trust with buyers.
Yeah, absolutely. And do you actually care about your customers? Like, why did you start a business in the first place? As you believe in your product, it improves the lives of your customers. And so as a customer yourself, you know your space the most out of anyone. So what would make you trust a business as a consumer in your space. And where also are your customers looking? Those are places where you can prove to them that you're a business worthy of their dollars. And a big part with reviews too is when you understand where they are, you can place that social proof in those areas of real customers of yours. And so that everyone can learn about the business that you've worked so hard to build, because you're placing them in the right places, and also so that they can see the heart of your business through the eyes of a consumer like them. Yeah, so I think in this era of buyers just being more scrupulous than ever, caring about your customers more than ever is key.
Yeah, and to add to that, this is only going to become more and more important as e-commerce sales become more prevalent. And, e-commerce is becoming the more and more popular way to complete purchases. I actually looked up the numbers this morning. I was curious. Cyber Monday, I have my notes here. Cyber Monday e-commerce spending in the US totaled 12.4 billion. So they were up 9.6% year over year. That's pretty crazy. So this is, online shopping is obviously the direction things are going. Our generation, we're all very aware of that, but even older generations are starting to adopt that more and more as well, as people don't want to go out to brick and mortar stores for various reasons. Building trust is also going to go hand in hand with that, going to become, really critical.
Yeah. That's a great point too, that it continues to grow because a lot of people might be like, oh, the pandemic's essentially over. We're back to normal. Stores are reopening. Brick and mortar stores are reopening, but the customers aren't going back to them as they used to. I remember I saw a video where they were filming like opening the doors Black Friday morning, 6 a.m. It's still dark out. They open the doors, one person walks in, and they're just like, oh, where's the crowd? It's not like how it used to be at all. And yeah, the numbers tell the truth. Shopping online is kind of the default for both consumers and business buyers. And the research online goes hand in hand with that. So yeah, Lauren, as someone who's so deeply involved in partnerships with all your expertise working in that space, can you share some insights about various types of partnerships that businesses and brands can get into? And how do businesses decide when it's a good time to start getting those collaborations, start doing those integrations, and different ways to connect with other businesses?
Yeah, good question. So I think it's really important to profile the potential partner that you're looking at, profile one another, right? For example, looking at not only what is the thing or the product that we are trying to sell, but what is the story behind each of those products? Is there alignment? Is there synergy? And what is each of our ICPs, our ideal customer profile? Are we talking to the same type of audience? Because if we can't land on kind of some commonalities between those few areas, then it probably doesn't make sense to pursue a partnership at this point in time, right? So we use tools like Crossbeam, for example. It's a great way to upload your customer list. So you can upload your active customers, your target customers, and you can quickly see in the system how much overlap there is. And that can tell you pretty quickly, okay, there's a lot of overlap here. We're clearly targeting the same type of customer. This does make sense. So once we get past that point, then we'll start having more strategic conversations. And that can be, sometimes it's really straightforward. Okay, this partner, for example, we know we want an integration partnership, right? With SiteJabber and Jabio, we want to integrate your customer reviews into our certification so that it's all in kind of one pane of glass for a consumer to see when they're shopping online. There's others where it's a simple, straightforward kind of co-marketing partnership, right? You scratch my back, I'll scratch yours. Maybe there's not a true integration opportunity, but hey, it makes sense to tell your story to our audience. And if you tell our story to yours, vice versa, that's an easy way to cross-promote and cross-pollinate and get the word out to one another's customers who already trust your brand, right? So you're encouraging them to explore and trust another brand that you believe in. And then there's kind of more strategic in depth where it's integration and maybe some referral opportunities or licensing opportunities. Those usually involve the broader team. So I'm working with upper management. I'm working with the dev team to build out integrations or identify issues there. I'm working with marketing and ops. So, every team is involved in really supporting the partnership role and the partnership piece of the organization. But it's fun. It requires you to put on your kind of creative thinking cap and see, okay, what ways can we make this work? Will this be interesting to our audience? Will it not? And to be honest, sometimes these things totally flop, and that's okay. It's a good learning opportunity. But then when they're successful, it can be really exciting and rewarding for the whole team and for both parties, right? And the ultimate goal is to just create a better experience for our end users and for our customers, and to drive, more revenue for each of the businesses that are partnering with one another.
So, Lauren, do you have any tips on, in a remote culture, how to connect with people virtually? Because, I mean, even if it's internally, I'm always trying to get people to get on a call with me or to connect with me. And sometimes I'm just like, please respond or give me something. I'll send a GIF, I'll send anything. Like, how do you connect with people and get them to and not just respond, but understand the value of what you're bringing to them?
Yeah, I mean, partnerships definitely require a lot of internal buy-in, right? Like, it's not a decision I can make on my own or with the partner team. It's a decision that needs to be made across the organization. We need to make sure we have, obviously, upper management's buy-in, but we need to make sure that the resources are available on each team so that the partnership is successful. I can't go and sign a partner deal and have no dev team to support me or no marketing team to support me in all the co-marketing efforts that need to follow that partnership deal. So you're right. It takes a lot of internal communication. We are heavily reliant on Slack in our organization. We are also fully remote. Slack is pretty effective for us, but we do also have standing meetings, check-in meetings, not to waste time. If it's not needed, we'll cancel it, but check-in meetings just to make sure that we're staying on top of these things that need to be checked off the list, right? So, we have regular stand-ups with different team members, or we'll just quickly throw a meeting on the calendar, hop into a Zoom room. And sure, there are times where someone's really busy and bogged down and you don't get a response as quickly as you want. And you're trying to be respectful of their time as well and not be too pushy. But it can be challenging at times. You can't just walk over to their desk and ask them a question, right? Same goes with partners. So a lot of email communication, but something we've found effective is to create Slack channels with our partners specifically. That may be something we want to explore as well with each other. But it's just a quick and easy way to fire off questions and get answers without having this whole email thread or back and forth and emails getting lost in the mix. So having Slack channels with partners has been really effective to just kind of get things done or get a quick answer. I would say it's always challenging going after a new prospective partner. So getting in contact with the right people can be tricky, and it can come off as salesy too. So they may or may not want to speak to you at first, but identifying the right contact, getting a hold of them, whether that's through email, phone, or LinkedIn, you do have to get creative. Or sometimes we'll kind of go through the customer success team to see, hey, can you connect us with someone on your team? We're looking to talk about a partnership or a potential integration. And we've had success in that area as well. But I would say that's the trickiest part is kind of getting that initial conversation with a prospective can be tough.
Yeah. I mean, I've definitely seen a lot of emails where they say they want a partner, but it's obviously a sales email. So cutting through the noise in your messaging must be a challenge.
Yeah, exactly. And so we try to do that in the least salesy way as possible, but also people are busy. They don't have time or it gets lost in a LinkedIn inbox message somewhere and you just don't get a response. So it can be tricky. I think the other part that's tough is with partners and prospective partners early on, you have to build rapport and you have to really build momentum and stay on that momentum, because it's really easy, not to anyone's fault, but for partnerships to fizzle out because everyone just has other competing priorities and resources are slim. And so we have to keep that momentum going, whether it's through constant communication, through email, through Slack, through regular standing check-ins with partners. But yeah, I think that's a challenging part of partnerships.
Before we wrap up, let's tell our listeners about our Jabio by SiteJabber and TrustedSite integration. So, how does it work? What benefits can businesses expect? And wrapping all of that up, what are we all looking forward to in the future of online reviews and security?
Sure. Yeah. So I can start there. So we are very excited to be rolling out our integration with Jabio by Site Jabber on TrustedSite, or with the TrustedSite certification and product. We also have a TrustedSite reviews certification that businesses can earn and display. So with that, this is for our pro customers. So we do have a freemium offering. So this is for paying TrustedSite customers. They can go into their dashboard and they can go to the trusted reviews certification, and we can identify through an API lookup whether or not the merchant or the website is already working with a reviews provider. And we have a number of reviews providers listed on our end, now SiteJabber being the newest. So if they are an active customer, their overall star rating and the breakdown of that star rating will be displayed in the Trusted Site certification modal, meaning when you click on the Trusted Site badge on a website, a verification modal and verification page pop up, and you can see a whole section dedicated to Jabio by Site Jabber, where those star ratings and the breakdown of those stars, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, shows up. So this is just a great way, again, for a consumer to double check the validity of a website. And it's a great, easy way for a merchant to display those reviews. We have a special offer for merchants who are not yet Jabio customers that they could take advantage of to create an account and enable that integration.
Yeah, it's very cool that the API pulls your SiteJabber profile, the reviews. So a business can be registered with SiteJabber. We do also have a free version where you can register and you can have a profile. You'll have reviews on it. Depending on if a business collects reviews with the free tools, they may or may not have a rating. But of course, working with TrustedSite, the best way is going to be with the tools on our paid version, where you can actually hone in on who your customers are, where they are, and get reviews from your people and show them on TrustedSite, on your TrustedSite certification. Yeah. So we're super excited about working with TrustedSite.
Yeah, same. We're looking forward to rolling this out here.
But yeah, customers of TrustedSite who sign up for a new Jabio paid plan will get their first month free with, an annual plan. So an entire first month, entire first 30 days will be free on Jabio. So yeah, really exciting integration that, again, makes it super easy to show your reviews and ratings, and they are trusted and verified reviews and ratings, and you get both certifications in one place. So very cool. Lauren, thank you so much for joining us. Some really great stuff about partnerships and, about trust in e-commerce space, but also building trust with businesses and their consumers and their buyers in general. And yeah, Pauline, thank you as well, of course, for being here and adding your take and Jabio side, the customer and review side. Really good stuff here.
Thank you.
Yeah, so to our listeners, be sure to drop a comment with your thoughts on today's episode. Like, subscribe, and share, all that good stuff. Your feedback is always appreciated and helps us bring you more valuable conversations. And for more about SiteJabber and our platform, Jabio, you can check out sitejabber.com/business. And we'll see you in the next Smart Customer Spotlight.